Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. And I don't even know what to say anymore about the state of professional wrestling. This episode of SmackDown was a big smack in everybody's face, not because of how terribly it was booked, not because the whole entire road to WrestleMania is a shambles and is a complete disaster, but for 2 hours tonight, the WWE did nothing. To be honest with you guys about the future of WrestleMania, they did nothing but lie to us for 2 hours and didn't address any of the problems that over the last 24 hours have reared their ugly heads. And we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Review and Reaction Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
And once again, poop hammers all around for the entire 2 hours of this episode of SmackDown on Fox. If I have to sit here and tell you that in the same night we watched Shinsegae Nakamura lose to Drew Gulak, we seen Asuka lose to Alexa Bliss, we've seen a tag team matchup that we've seen 9,000 times already as the Usos went to battle against the New Day for the umpteenth thousandth time that nobody could really give a shit about. And then they wanted to stack on top of that the worst WrestleMania main event maybe in the history of WrestleMania main events. The biggest time that the WWE Universe turned on the main event of WrestleMania. Everything backfired right in Vince McMahon's faces at WrestleMania 32 when Triple H, the decided heel, the villainous, venomous Triple H, the cerebral assassin, sledgehammer-wielding, Stephanie McMahon face-loving Triple H, who everybody hated at the time, the authority figure of the WWE, was being cheered on and being just supported by a crowd that did not want to see Roman Reigns win at WrestleMania. And props to the WWE for not really futzing with that footage too much. They left all of the boos in there. They left the crowd reaction in there because it would be hard to edit it all out. It's really, really crazy. It was a one-sided affair as far as the fans was concerned. But it also gave me the opportunity to go and play Animal Crossing for 40 minutes on my Nintendo Switch because I didn't have to watch that garbage again, which is probably the best thing about tonight's SmackDown. That I got to go do my work in Animal Crossing. I got to pay off my home loan. I'm getting a bigger house now from Tom Nook, and everything's good. But aside from that, everything is bad. Everything was bad about tonight's episode of SmackDown. But the worst possible thing is that everybody, unless you don't search the internet, unless you don't read the wrestling dirt sheets, you have heard the news that multiple stars are pulling out of being part of anything that has to do with PC Mania. Roman Reigns, most notably, has pulled out and is not participating. The match with Goldberg for the Universal Championship is supposedly off, and you wouldn't know that at all if you watched tonight's episode of SmackDown. They went on with business as usual, as if nothing is happening, as if there isn't a virus who is gripping the nation and is bringing the whole entire world to its knees, stopping professional sports in their tracks, stopping movies in Hollywood and things from happening, and they refuse to bend to the will of Mother Nature, of fate. Everything is trying to tell you to postpone this and stop doing this, but you continue to move forward as if nothing is happening. And Roman Reigns and Goldberg is only one of the multiple times on this night that WWE failed to inform you of anything that is truly going on with WrestleMania. They wanted to book a woman's segment in the beginning. We got to see Sasha Banks. We got to see Bayley come out and do their same old routine of whining and bitching about how the women's division is being booked. Oh, we're all pissed off because Paige made this 6-woman match. But they didn't want to reference the 6-woman match. They didn't want to really talk about how they had to change the 6-woman match to a 5-woman match because Dana Brooke had to be taken off of the roster due to maybe illness, or maybe she just doesn't want to risk getting sick, or whatever the story behind it is, we don't know. But Dana Brooke is off the card, and that's not the story that they told tonight. What they wanted to remind everybody was how Tamina looks. Remember Tamina with the one lazy eye, and she comes out and she does a few moves, and then at the wrestling match, at the 5-way, she's going to be the first friggin' girl eliminated in the whole thing. Remember, let's remind everybody about Tamina and her lazy eye. That was the point of tonight's segment. Show everybody, oh right, remember this lady? You might not have remembered her when we mentioned her name last week, so let's show everybody who Tamina is once again. But let's not reference Dana Brooke being taken out of this match. Not that I care one way or the other about Dana Brooke, you guys know that. But there you go, another time the WWE tonight lied right to your face, because withholding information is the very same thing as lying right to your face. They did it again as it pertains to the Tag Team Championship scenario. The Miz has supposedly fallen ill. The Miz is not willing to participate in anything that is going to be taped or going to take place for PC Mania, for Empty Mania. But they didn't want to mention that. They didn't want to tell you guys that we're not going to have a Tag Team Championship match. They didn't want to put moves into play tonight to maybe take the belts off of The Miz and Morrison, because all of this stuff was probably taped a couple of days ago before they knew that they were going to have these bombshells dropped on them, and they didn't feel the need to address it tonight. They just went along with business as usual. Nothing is happening. Everything is fine. Move along. Nothing to see here, boys and girls. Don't pay attention to all the masks and the rubber gloves and all of the things that are sweeping the nation. Don't pay attention to the fact that we can't have fans. Don't pay attention to the fact that we probably shouldn't have 5 women in the ring at the same time anyway. Don't pay attention to the fact that we shouldn't be putting on a triple threat tag team matchup with the state of the world being as it is right now. But your main event tonight is the Usos versus the New Day to see who goes on against the Miz and Morrison. And what do? We get no winner. So it's a triple threat match. So we can add more bodies to the match because they can't decide what the hell they're doing, when in the bottom line, they're not going to end up having the match anyway. And I know there's still one more episode of Suckdown before we actually have to sit through this 2-night empty mania. And they could make all these decisions, or they could try to figure it out this week and lay it all on us then. But you're giving us 2 days? On 24 hours notice, really, because Empty PC Mania starts on Saturday. And next Friday you're going to make all these changes, or you're just going to announce it on social media all week long because, you just don't know what the hell you're doing over there. You have no idea how to progress forward. And 3 people in 3 major matches are not going to be part of them. And on tonight's show, none of that was addressed. In fact, they didn't even feel the need to talk about Dana Brooke at all. They just, when we were doing the women's segment, they just said, yeah, no, it's a 5-man. It's a 5-woman match. No, we didn't say 6. It was 5. It was 5 all along. You guys don't know how to do math. They think we're stupid. Or they simply just don't respect us, which we've known that for a long time. But this was a big smack in the face. Especially to those of us who are in the know more than others. The casual fan probably don't give a shit. They don't know about the backstage news. They don't know what's going on. But smart fans like you, and people like me who exist here on this platform, we live for this news. We live for this shit. We're going to be on top of it, and we're looking for the very first and every single possible way you could give us a reason to beat your asses for being stupid. And this is one of the biggest ones ever. One of the reasons I even bothered tuning into SmackDown tonight was to see how they were going to address all of these rumors that we heard just 24 hours ago. And they didn't. They didn't address anything. Just moving along. Nothing to see here. Business as usual. It'll be interesting to see next week. What the changes will be, I don't know. If they're going to make any changes at all. Perhaps they find a way to force Roman's hand into doing this. And why you would do that to a man who has more than one reason to not want to compromise himself and his health, I don't know. Is the WWE that evil? I wouldn't put it past them. I certainly wouldn't like to believe that's the case, but I just don't know anymore. The one thing I do know is this whole entire situation that we all find ourselves in right now, it's making wrestling even worse. I don't even want to do this stuff anymore. Like, I have no desire to watch the show at all. Like, I didn't want to watch it before when it was bad, but now they're just lifeless, empty parodies of what professional wrestling even used to be. And that holds true for AEW this week too, man. The reason why I didn't drop the hammer down on AEW this week was because there was no reason to even talk about it. What was I going to talk about? Jericho and Matt Hardy having a really awkward, cringy kind of conversation at the end of a show that felt like nothing at all? What was I going to talk about? QT Marshall? Talk about another Jake the Snake promo? It's the same show every week, and it might not have been bad in your opinion, but without fans, there is no life to this show. Doesn't matter how good the wrestling match is. It just feels pointless. It feels like we're watching dress rehearsal, and it doesn't matter which show it is. Doesn't matter what three letters come before the show begins. It's just the worst possible time in professional wrestling. Taking out the atmosphere, having the inability to fill stadiums, it just makes wrestling seem sort of pointless. NWA Power is filmed in front of, 50, 75, maybe 100 people in a studio audience, and that feels just as great as watching a WrestleMania with almost 100,000 fans when you got the right passionate fans in the crowd. You could have a crowd of 10, and it'll give you some sort of... That's why that first AEW Dynamite, where they had some of the people around ringside, it just felt like a better show. They really did a great job, but without anybody around, it's just empty and lifeless. So as a wrestling fan, that's what I feel. I feel like these performances are for nothing. They're going out there and performing for nobody live. Sure, they know millions of people are watching on camera, but that's not the same. You don't get an instant feedback. You don't get a reaction from the crowd. I feel like everybody feels like they're on the jobber circuit right now. This is what it feels like to be watching, like, people in gyms and stuff. But even if you go to your local gym and watch a professional wrestling show, when wrestling was allowed to be, attended, of course, there was life. There was life there. 50 people, 100 people, it doesn't matter. The people is what makes a wrestling show special. Without them, there's nothing special. This is not WrestleMania. The stupidest thing that they could possibly do, I understand, is that you want to still have something transpire that weekend, but go ahead and do that. Pre-tape your segments, have your stupid little gimmick matches, but don't call it WrestleMania. Have Saturday be Saturday night's main event, make the Sunday be Sunday Night Heat, and just have two special shows live on the WWE Network, and WrestleMania will be postponed until a later date, when you can give it a respectful card with fans, with an arena full of fans that can show up. But instead of using logic and doing something smart like that, we're getting this WrestleMania where we're going to have 2 ridiculous gimmick matches. We're going to have John Cena taking on Bray Wyatt now in a Firefly Funhouse match. First we got the Boneyard Brawl or whatever it is between AJ and The Undertaker. Now we're going to have the Firefly Funhouse match. What the hell that means? We don't know. It's another thing they're announcing with no parameters. We don't know what it means. Bray Wyatt wants to throw Ramblin' Rabbit into a blender and drink a magical concoction that he believes is going to allow him to see John Cena and defeat John Cena. Fantastic. Who cares? Who cares at this point? Bray Wyatt and Firefly Funhouse is kind of meaningless to me now. It's just the same old shtick over and over again. Oh, we killed Ramblin' Rabbit again. Oh, I'm so friggin' shocked. Who cares? Who cares? This whole thing is just crumbling. The road to WrestleMania is crumbling. The earth is cracking beneath this show. And it just needs to not happen at all. But that doesn't seem to be the case. John Cena's going to show up next week and give us his answer. What do you think his answer's going to be? No? Think he's going to say no 24 hours before PC Empty Mania? Come on. Stupid. Ridiculous. Just as stupid and ridiculous as seeing Elias once again. We got Elias showing up. Elias is coming to sing us a stupid song about his stupid opponent, stupid King Corbin. And I am almost positive that somebody on the WWE creative staff has got an obsession with the Lion King right now. Maybe they got Disney Plus and they've been watching, the Lion King over and over. Maybe they're watching all the subsequent sequels. I'm sorry, the subsequent sequels that movie has had over the years. Maybe they're watching the Lion Guard TV show. Maybe they're doing any number of things on Disney Plus, but they have to be Lion King Central. And why am I saying this? Because not only are we going to have AJ and The Undertaker in a boneyard match, because, the boneyard is where, elephants and animals go to die, and I made the reference to maybe they were watching The Lion King. And now this week we have the King, Corbin, emulating Simba's Uncle Scar. And he had Elias hanging from a balcony, and he threw him from the balcony down to the depths below. And sure, there wasn't a bunch of stampeding horses' asses running through the crowd, because, that's not allowed right now. But it was clear as day. Like, the way it was done, like somebody's watching The Lion King, and they're trying to transfix it and transpose it into their professional wrestling. King Corbin throwing down Elias off the mountaintop. Then Elias was taken to a local medical facility. In the one of all of these useless matches, this is by far the most useless and most unnecessary and most uninteresting, and I don't care. He could have thrown Elias from the top of the performance center down into a bowl full of Jell-O that was on the back of a tractor truck that drove him straight into the Atlantic Ocean, and I wouldn't have given 2 shits about that neither. Is that just me? I don't know. I'm sure you guys know where I'm coming from and agree with me for the most part. Maybe one of the more interesting moments of the evening came when we had Otis confronting Dolph Ziggler once again. Mandy Rose was talking about why is Dolph Ziggler being so mean to Otis, and it just so is setting itself up to be exactly what we all think it is. But at the last minute, Mandy's going to have a change of heart. Perhaps Dolph Ziggler will repeatedly embarrass Otis during their matchup at this PC Empty Mania. And then Mandy will change the tide, and Otis will walk away with the girl in his arms like a festive Christmas ham, and he's going to go smack her on the ass and eat that ham like nobody's business. Fantastic. But without the fans, do you care? Does it matter? We're watching As the World Turns. That's a show that doesn't feed off of having a built-in studio audience, but wrestling does. And Otis is going to get the girl without the crowd there screaming ham and bacon for everybody? Why are you supposed to care? It just doesn't feel right. None of it feels right. Wrestling in general, across the board, just feels wrong. It feels tainted. It feels poisoned. And tonight was a big proof of that. This was one of the most useless episodes of SmackDown that has ever existed. They have used the entirety of the show to promote 3 matches that are no longer happening the way they were supposed to, 2 of which are not happening at all. So what was the point of tonight's show? There was none. Promoting, having Triple H there to talk about, oh, well, Bill Goldberg brings this to the table and Roman brings that to the table, but I think the big dog's going to reign supreme. But this match isn't happening. So everything Triple H said is for nothing. The match they chose to show tonight, the repeat of the worst WrestleMania main event of all time. Pointless. The entire show was pointless. That's it. We talked about everything that happened. There's no reason to really get further into detail. I don't know why I turned into Cody Rhodes right there. There's no reason to to go further into detail. But let's just do a quick rundown. We had the confrontation for the women's match where we had Bam Bam, I'm Lacey Evans. I need a wardrobe that's not from 1950. Really, I think if she just changed up the look from what she was and just do something completely different, maybe come out in the fatigues or in some sort of Marine uniform and give the same kind of promo she's given and drop the whole nastiest thing, maybe it could do something. Maybe it could change. But until then, Bam Bam, you're just like mothballs and Cappy Bam Bam. Don't care. We got to see Naomi. Great. And like I said, all this was about was to see Tamina again. Oh, remember? We heard the ridiculous music. Remember this girl? Remember her? Fantastic. Wonderful. Drew Gulak beat Shinsegae Nakamura thanks to a little help from his new running buddy Daniel Bryan. I'm supposed to be okay with this? I might be okay with it if Shinsegae Nakamura has actually been able to be winning over the course of the last couple of months. But the guy's been a proverbial loser. They gave him the Intercontinental Championship. They gave him a whole new Intercontinental Championship. And then he lost and lost and lost. And then when he was defending the championship, he lost to Braun Strowman, who then lost to Sami Zayn. So Shinsuke's done nothing but lose. And now he's losing to Drew Gulak? No. No. Awful. Awful decision making right there. And I don't care what the end result's going to be. Oh, we're going to get Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. What does either Drew Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura have to do with that? They could have built that very easily without hurting anybody else's career. But they chose not to do that. Alexa Bliss defeats Asuka. Sorry. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. The best thing about Alexa Bliss is her tight little ass. And aside from that, I don't want to see much else. Especially when it comes to her wrestling. And her beating Asuka is laughable. Laughable. So now this means they're going to get a shot at the championships of the tag team division of the women and blah, blah, blah. Cares? Stupid. Pointless. Those belts mean nothing. Alexa Bliss doesn't mean anything. Asuka at this point doesn't mean anything anymore. They ruin anything that we like. This is why we don't have nice things. Triple H versus Roman from WrestleMania. The Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt. The Usos versus The New Day, which ended in a no contest, which leaded Michael Cole to announce that it is going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania, which is not going to happen because The Miz isn't going to be able to wrestle. So that's it. That was SmackDown tonight, you guys. And we got it done in underneath a half an hour. We actually could have been done 5 minutes ago, but I wanted to give you a secondary rundown in case I missed anything, and I didn't miss anything. And if there was anything we did miss that you remember, you're always free to leave it in the comment section, but maybe I forget things for a reason. Maybe it's not worth remembering. I want to know more than anything if you guys feel like I feel. When you sit down and even try to watch this show, those of you that actually do torture yourself like I do and watch this program, don't you feel like it's not even wrestling anymore? Like, I don't even know what I'm watching. Watching these guys in the ring with nothing around them is just not the same. Not the same. It really makes it even harder for me to come out here and do this for you, because I don't want to sound like a broken record every week. I don't want to become the WWE, essentially giving you guys the same shit over and over again. But I don't know what else to do. Like, I would rather not even review these shows at all until wrestling goes back to normal, because it's brutal. It's brutal. And if any of you guys are actually enjoying this stuff, I would like to know. I'm not going to call you names like anybody else would. I mean, everybody has their thing, and maybe some of you guys enjoyed this show. Man, I envy you. Because I can't even find one redeeming factor. I can't find one silver lining in this dark cloud that aired tonight, known as SmackDown. Thank you guys, that's it. We're going to get out of here, wrap this one up early before we just start repeating the same old points over and over and over again. I can't thank you guys enough. We are getting closer and closer to 2.5K, which is freaking awesome. And while I was very hopeful that by this point in our run, coming up on our 4th full year here on YouTube, that we would be way beyond this. But you know what? Sometimes the slow burn is the better way to go about it. I have 2,000 plus of the best fans in the world. My sledgeheads are everything to me. You guys, without you, then I'm just as crazy as a WWE performing out here in my office here in front of nobody. So you guys mean the world to me. I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this journey with me. And let's continue by bringing us more and more sledgeheads. This is a call to you guys. Make sure you are sharing this video all over social media, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on any platform you choose to share it on. You should be following me there as well. You see the handles down there. The Twitter handle at Nick Nightmare. For Instagram, it's at Nick NIC _ Nightmare, as you can see on the screen here as well. Please follow me on those platforms so that we can continue to grow there, as well as we try to get as big as we can here on the home station, Sledgehammer TV on YouTube.com. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for your continued love and support. I was going to do another t-shirt release surrounding WrestleMania weekend, but I think I'm going to hold off. And if you guys want to see a preview of the shirt, you let me know. Maybe I could put up a post or something. Make sure you follow me everywhere, like I said, and you'll be able to see that before it hits the airwaves. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll wait for wrestling to come back. Maybe we'll have a big party and we'll try to sell some shirts and do some merch and do some other fun stuff here. And that's it. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. So make sure you smash that like button if you had a good time here tonight. If it made you laugh, if it made you cry, if it made you understand why wrestling right now just completely sucks, hit that like button. Share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world. And don't forget to drop a comment for me to read down in that comment section below. But most importantly, subscribe if you are not already a member of the coolest, newest faction of rising sledgeheads who are taking over the wrestling world one hammer strike at a time. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.